How's it going, everyone? It's your boy Dak908, aka the Dig Dug himself, and today, ladies and gents, we look at Vaal Hazak. He is the new creepy elder dragon that is, I guess, indigenous to the Rotten Vale. Now, first things first, he is the cause of all the, I don't even know how to pronounce it, it's like Effluvium or something like that, I think. Effluvium, or whatever it is. The stuff that if you just stand around and you breathe it in, it just automatically harms you. I've lovingly referred to it as secondhand smoke, dubbing him the secondhand smoke dragon because secondhand smoke kills. So if anyone who's actually out there smoking them cigarettes, you know that the people that you're around, you're actually affecting them when you're affecting yourself. Anyway, this isn't a health lesson, this is Monster Hunter. So let's talk about Monster Hunter really quickly. So off the rip, I'll tell you this: creepiest monster I've ever seen in my life. Dead serious. I've seen some stuff on Frontier, but my man right here takes the cake. When I first saw him, I was like, yo, this dude is kind of crazy, and he's ugly. But his ugliness and everything like that shouldn't really phase you too much. The one thing that should phase you for sure is I'm dead serious, I'm just gonna call it secondhand smoke, is his secondhand smoke. If you stand around him too much, literally standing around him as he actually does some of his attacks, things like that, you'll be hit with secondhand smoke blight. That's what I'm calling it. You know what it's called, but that's what I'm calling it. Regardless, it cuts your health by like 60 points or something like that. So if you're at like I believe it's if you have like 150 health, you'll be cut down to like 90 or something like that. But it cuts it down tremendously. For the most part, just think of it like cutting it in half roughly. It's very, like, the first time it happened to me, I freaked out. I was like, oh snap, my health is gone, what do I do? Fret not, bring some null berries and you'll be okay. Bring your null berries and that Astera jerky, so that way it gives you your red health back, so that way you can recover your health a lot quicker without actually using up a lot of potion. But regardless though, unless you come in here with either, I believe, Gyros armor or just the abilities to what's it, the secondhand smoke resistance ability, I forget exactly what it's called, but if you come here with that, you should be okay. The higher that is, the better. If you can get negated all together, absolutely perfect. Then you have nothing to worry about, because honestly, he's not a very hard fight. I'll admit it, he's not very hard. The one thing that makes him very hard is the fact that you have to manage your health consistently if you don't have the resistance to the particular element that he can actually give you. So with that being said, I strongly suggest you guys come here with null berries, and if you have it, the cleanser booster or even the health booster, so that way you can actually set yourself a nice little safe area where you can restore your health and or cleanse yourself from the effluvium or whatever it is actually called. So with that being said, with that being said and put out the way first, secondly, I should say that when I fought him scared. I'll admit, that's why the fight is 20 minutes long. After fighting him a few more times, I actually started getting around to like 13 minutes or stuff like that. That's why I feel like I'm a bit more comfortable with fighting him. But you're probably gonna fight him scared first, simply because it's that secondhand smoke, man. I kid you not, bro. That threw me for a loop. I'm the only one who goes for a challenge and things like that. But when I saw that he cut my health down to half, I freaked out. But the one thing that makes him not very tough as a monster is that he doesn't actually full on capitalize on his ability to cut your health in half. Usually whenever he cuts your health in half, he goes and does something else instead. Like it's like he knows, like the AI itself knows whenever it cuts your health in half, and he never almost ever follows up with an attack. Because bro, if you follow up with an attack, a heavy attack, after you cut my health in half, I could be a dead one instantaneously. But that almost seems to like really never happen for me and others that I tend to fight with. Usually when we lose, it's because people try to block his beam. He has a secondhand smoke beam that you cannot block standardly. If you have guard up, you can block it. It's one of those attacks where it's an unblockable attack, unless you have guard up, of course. And people like to block it or think they can block it and they can't, so they usually card from that. But I fought this guy for about a good 3 weeks. That's right, 3 weeks. 3 weeks I was fighting him up until about last Monday, where I actually completed the full armor set. So if you really want to know why I've been slowly putting these videos out, is because I couldn't actually make this video until I made the armor, and that's why it took so long. So there you go. Everything I said before was either just me stalling for time, but this is the exact reason. I was fighting for 3 weeks before I could actually do anything. That's why I kind of gave you guys out one video here, wait a little bit, one video there, that kind of thing. But anyway, with that being said, that's pretty much the short on him. He has a couple of attacks that you should totally look into worrying about. He will rev his body up, and then he'll breathe in, I guess you could say, all the effluvium or the secondhand smoke in the area. If you are affected by that particular blight, you had better cure yourself immediately, because it will sap your health very quickly and kill you. If you look around, the little flying monsters floating around everywhere, they themselves are actually going to die from it, because they are affected by it, and he will take their life essence, kind of what happened in the cutscene there, and he'll do that. Will it heal him? I'm not 400% on that. I couldn't even honestly tell you if it actually heals him or not, but just know that if you are affected by the secondhand smoke, then you should probably heal yourself before he actually gets around to doing that. Another attack that he'll do looks very similar to that same attack, is that he'll rev his body up again, and then he'll breathe in, but not like trying to breathe in the secondhand smoke for the atmosphere, but I guess just putting air in his lungs, and then he'll disperse a large amount of the smoke straight down at the ground. Now, if you have a shield or whatever, you can block that first initial attack, but if you don't, you're gonna get hit with it, and it's almost always an instantaneous secondhand smoke blight kind of thing. If not, even if you block, you still might actually get a hit with the fact that you might still get that secondhand smoke blight. So it's a very powerful move. Watch for that. So between that, the beam, the sucking from the atmosphere thing, that's honestly really all you need to really watch for the guy. He has a couple of attacks, but truth be told, those are his real slammers. Those are his real unique attacks. I mean, he has the standard, you know, run at you, charges, swipes, things like that, but those are the big things you really need to worry about. But with all that madness out of the way, let's talk about his gear. But before we talk about the gear, let's talk about his weakness. His weakness is fire, but I strongly suggest you guys, if you did fight Nergigante just before him, bring Nerg weapons anyway, because that's Elder Seal. Elder Seal actually reduces some of the madness that he has, i.e. the secondhand smoke. It'll make it to where he doesn't actually do it as often. It'll still happen. I mean, it just kind of helps a little bit. It's almost to the point where it's like, yo, should I really even? But like, once you really catch yourself in a situation where it's like, dude, this is a whole lot more than last time before, it's probably worth it. I mean, if it helped like super duper, it would probably be a little bit broken, but the Elder Seals kind of help out with that. But yes, moving over, let's actually talk about his armor and things like that, because it's actually very good. I highly recommend it. So right off the rip, we're looking at his armor. It looks very nice on the ladies, I'll admit. I mean, it looks real good. You have the alpha, and then you have the beta. Of course, the beta makes you look like a widow if you're a female character, of course, but I opt to go with a mix-up between alpha and beta. But regardless, the skills are as shown: dragon attack, recovery speed, peak performance, effluvium, and that guard is totally my talisman I forgot to take off. But anyway, let's look at the skills individually. All right, so we're looking at his set skill, Vaal Hazak Vitality, which is an amazingly overpowered skill. You will see a lot of people who actually have lancing sets that are endgame use this skill, because it makes you practically invincible. Honestly, allows recovery to extend to exceed the red portion of the health gauge, meaning if you take a hit, you will be okay, because after a while all your health will be restored, all of it. So if you take a hit from a monster and go leave to another area, put the controller down, go make a sandwich, come back, boom, you're at full health, just because it just works that way. It just, your health gradually grows the entire time. So with recovery speed, of course, it actually helps with that. Speeds the healing recoverable damage, so the red portion gets completely hit up really quickly, and then you start to actually recover your standard measure of health. So that's actually very, very good, honestly. So, but anyway, so we talked about that. Dragon attack is what it sounds like. You know, you get a 5% dragon increase on your already element, and then the plus 100 bonus to your dragon attack, which is pretty nice. We talk about recovery speed, peak performance. This is an amazing skill to have on the set. It's actually really good. It's, when you think about it, it's actually the perfect skill to have on a set like this, to where your health almost never goes down, it always goes up. While it's active, when your health is completely full, you gain an attack bonus of 20. That's actually pretty good, especially if you're very nice at like dodging or blocking and things like that. So if you have like guard 5, where almost nothing actually hurts you as a lancer, and you're actually really good at lancing, you can do that really well. Or you could be any other weapon type user and you're very good at evading the monster. This should help you out exceedingly well. But if you're a bow user, I believe peak performance is a bow or a ranged weapon kind of ability, because 9 times out of 10 you can see the attack that's going to happen miles before it even hits you, or it won't even hit you at all because you're so far back, but just enough to where you can actually do your real damage. So peak performance would be really great for that. Of course, it has the effluvium resistance, because I mean, it is the dragon, of course, and this is my talisman, so don't worry about that. But yeah, that's the ability. It's actually really dope. If you look at the beta version, however, not as dope, but I mean, you still get your slots, you know what I mean? So it gives you practically everything already, save for the dragon attack thing. So a lot of people themselves actually like to really mix this set heavily, because you don't really need dragon attack. You just need the health recovery and the recovery speed thing. and peak performance, of course. I mean, right off the rip, kind of gives it to you. So a lot of people actually like to actually use the beta and then just gem in whatever they like. Me personally, I like the way alpha looks. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it looks really cool. And I mean, dragon attack's not that bad. I'm gonna use that particular dragon attack to go fight the next dragon. So that's why I really chose alpha, because I want that extra damage. But yo, that's the armor and everything. His weapons are actually pretty good. They're not the best dragon weapons in the game, but I mean, they're fair. You know what I mean? They're fair. They're that nice medium, because Nergigante has a high attack while Vaal Hazak has more element. So that kind of tends to be the thing. Even the Elder Seal really shows that the Vaal Hazak is the kind of in the middle, because his Elder Seal is actually rather not exactly. Well, I guess exactly. It's exactly average, because there's low, average, and high. Vaal Hazak's weapons are average Elder Seal, so the effect of it won't be as potent as the Nergigante, but I mean, it'll still be there. Plus, you get a little bit more element. Now, I want to say the one weakness to Vaal Hazak's weapons, the actual only one weakness, that his sharpness is kind of bad. I mean, it's a little, like, especially if you look at Nergigante sharpness, then you look at Vaal Hazak sharpness, you will almost immediately always go for Nergigante's weapons. I mean, when you think about it, it's like, I can lose out a little bit on element, get more attack, and have better sharpness. So if you have more attack and better sharpness, who cares what the element is? That's kind of how Vaal Hazak is. I mean, he has more element, but he loses in everything else in terms of attack and sharpness. So I mean, if it's really up to you. I personally, Nergigante, I hate to say it, but I mean, his stuff is just that good. So if you're really about the life, I totally recommend going for him, especially if you want that meta, if you want to be that most optimized kind of thing. Probably go for his stuff. I mean, not nerds, but Vaal Hazak stuff is decent. But even in a pinch, I couldn't even sit there and lie to you and say, yeah, get his stuff, because it's a little easier to get Nerg's materials than it is to get Vaal's materials. So you have to work harder to get Vaal's stuff and then have like a little worse of a weapon. It's kind of really hard to really suggest, truth be told, but that's his stuff. So with the gear and everything knocked out the way in which he fights and all that stuff and whatnot, there's honestly not too much else to say. I admit this video was only very long because I was fighting scared. And I highly suggest you guys, just understand, if anything, watch the video. Okay, understand the way in which I'm fighting him scared. But I recommend, if you really can, if you don't have a shield, you do want to kind of stay in the front, only so that you can see what he's about to do, and you can actually adjust yourself accordingly. But if you do have a shield or whatever, just but just recognize the tells that his body gives when he's about to do particular attacks, where he actually shoots the smoke right down underneath himself, and then you should be good. Because once I came with the lance, it was nothing. I don't think I've ever carded to him after I started using the lance, straight up, dead serious. But switch axe, things like that, it was little, I had to work a little bit more, because I kept putting myself in a bad situation. I kept wanting to play it like a lance, and you can't do that. You have to kind of sit out a little bit, see what he's about to do, and then kind of capitalize on not necessarily the mistakes he makes, because he actually commands a great bit of range, but just attack when you can get a nice opening is pretty much what I can really say about him. Like, your first couple of fights might be very long. Once you really get accustomed to fighting him, it shouldn't really be too much, because like I said, he doesn't tend to really capitalize on the biggest thing that makes him such a powerful monster right off the jump, which is the fact that he can actually cut your health in half. So dead serious, if he was actually very good, if he was like let's say Teostra on capitalizing on just running you down, and he had the health cutting in half ability, he'd be a very dangerous monster to fight, because I mean, not only will he cut your health in half, he'll kill you with that one hit. It'd be one hit kills everywhere when it comes to this guy, but for him, not so much the case. So he looks like something you really have to worry about. You really don't have to really worry about it too much. I highly admit it. Like I said, I was fighting scared, so once you just understand that it's nothing really too much to worry about, you should be relatively okay. But everyone, with that being said, that's pretty much all I have for you guys when it comes to Vaal Hazak. I feel like if I were to keep talking, I'd be talking in circles and rambling on. I mean, I ramble on a lot as is, you know what I mean? Especially when I'm just going off the dome, and which is exactly what's happening today. So the next video I will see you guys on will probably be Kush. As I speak to you right now, I haven't actually fought Kush yet, but I fought Teo. But I really want to fight. I want to upload Kush first, and then Teo, and then fight the last. There's only one more monster to go after this. I'm spoilers. There's only 3 more monsters: Kush, Teo, and the final boss. But I'm probably gonna fight the final boss with Kush armor. So I kind of want to show you guys Kush first, then Teo, and that guy. But yes, everyone, that's all I have for you today. It's been your boy Dak908, aka the Dig Up himself. Enjoy the rest of the video. I will talk to y'all real soon. Like, oh, before I go, if you guys remember, I did that 5 steps for success video for Basil Goose, Baz, whatever his name is. If you would like to see me do that, I will do that for monsters that seem to give you guys a bit more trouble. That is me expediting the heavy breakdown videos that I told you guys I would do. And instead of actually making the video just this regular video that I do right here, I will make that video instead. But if you want me to do something like that for a particular monster, let me know. So you can be like, yo, Dak, let me get 5 steps to success for like O-Dog, or like 5 steps to success for like Rathos or whatever. Just let me know if you want to see more of that, because I mean, I try really hard on that, but I never really actually asked you guys if you want to see more of it. I kind of just did it off the rip. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys. Take care. It's been your boy. Peace.